Yes, guys, welcome back to this lesson on web development. So today we are going to be learning about the heading elements in HTML. So what is heading like? Well, heading can be in the normal human writing, maybe that particular word or words, a group of words that you want to put attention on. You want to make it to be to be thick. You want to make it to be in capital letter. You want to make it to be the heading of whatever you're doing. That could be the heading. So there are just 6 elements here that actually can be used to represent the heading. So first of all, to create an element, we must ensure we are inside the body, right? We can't write elements in the head; it's not proper. So inside the body, right, at the center of the body, line 10, I'm going to start by saying, how do you create elements? Remember I said you just type the name of the element. And then there's an element called heading 1. So heading 1 is heading H1. If I click enter, watch. If I hover on this heading 1, you see it says the H1 element represents a section heading. So this is actually the first and the heaviest and the highest and the biggest element that represents headings. So I'm going to just say this is heading 1. I will go to my live server. I will just right click and then open it here. Open with live server, and then it's going to open the website for me. And then I can see here, this is heading 1. So this is how it looks like. Surprise, this is a big text actually. If I go back to my VS Code, right under heading 1, I will just type H2 for heading 2, and then type and say, this is heading 2. I go back to my VS Code, and okay, it's saying something that the live reload is not possible without the head or body tag. Shut up. I'm going to close it and try to refresh again, and then we'll see it now that it's working. So for the next one, I'm going to just open my screen and type in H3. Because of time, I'll just go ahead and do all of them at once. I'll just say this is heading 3, and then H4, this is heading 4, and then H5, this is heading 5, and finally H6, this is heading 6. Perfect. Let's see what we've got, and yeah, this is it. So whatever you see here, you can actually manipulate it, the size, the color, the scheme, and everything using your CSS, but we've not come to that yet. So for now, these are the heading text elements. See you in the next video. So welcome back, guys. So the last video we talked about a type of text elements, particularly for the headers or heading rather. So today I'm going to try to just give us an overview of other text elements that we could find helpful. The first I want to bring to our notice is something we're familiar with, the paragraph elements. So by the way, before I go on, I will just have the paragraph, that's the P, and then just say this is a paragraph. So if you go back to our running pods already, we see that this is not refreshed, and then this is it. This is our paragraph. So there is also an element called span. So just type this is a span, and then we see that this is a span appears here. So you could say the span and the paragraph are just the same thing, but they are different, and I'll tell you why. So if I write another element down here under the span, and I say maybe an element of B for bold, I just say this is a bold text. If I come here and I see, you see that the only difference between the span and the paragraph most likely is the way they display themselves. A paragraph, the first one here, is actually called a block element. It's block because it eats up this whole space you are seeing here. Nothing is allowed to come here. On the other hand, the span element is something that's inline block. Yeah, inline elements, And inline elements means they just take as much as they can and then allow other people to come and stay on that space. They are not space greedy or something. They don't want to cover up everything. As much as the justice can be given to them in this little corner, you see it here. And then this other bold is coming out here. So this is actually how the bold element looks like too. Some other elements we're going to be seeing is the strong. So the strong, this is a strong element. And then another one I'm going to see, the I for italics. And also this text is in italics. And then I just want to just go across a couple of them because of our time. There's something called small. This is a small text, and I want to also have the E that says EM. So EM is actually for emphasis, I guess. Yep. And then we have emphasis or emphasized text ahead. And then let's see what we have. Perfect. So it happens that all these texts are just inline text. No difference, nothing much. So this is a span, this is a bold text, this is a strong text. There's a difference between the bold and the strong. This text is an italics, this is a small text, this text is emphasized. Okay, so what if we want to make them to stand on different lines? Make them to stand on different lines. It's quite simple. We can use something called HR for horizontal row, no. Line breaker for BR, let's see. And then if I type BR here, yes, you see that it should break it down. Thank you. This is a breaker. Let's see what the name is called in the VSCode. Over on it. Okay, BRM, line break, exactly. Breaks the line. So we'll do this a couple of times for the rest of them. BR here, and BR here. I want to do this quickly. BR here. Okay, and then go back to the code, and each of them, as you can see, on the line of this one, we're just saying, make them somehow to be block elements so that no elements can come after each of them. And this is what we have here. So another element we want to look at is maybe your subscript or superscript. I'm just going to say SUP for superscript. I'll just say a super, small letter is superscript text. And then do that for a subscript text. Let's see what we have. Exactly. This is a superscript. This is a subscript. So in case you want to, so this is why it's called HTML, markup language. It's useful to make your text to be flexible, not just one way of writing a text. You want to write, maybe in a case where you want to just write let's just make a simple, make this make sense now. I'm just going to use P and just say x raised to power 2. I want to do that. So I'll just say x sub and then 2. And then you can see what we have. This should be x2 or something, maybe h2 or something. You get the point? Sub. Oh, I should have used a super. My bad. SUP for super. Let's see exactly. exactly. So this is for super text, and then we can also have for subtext like this, P, and then maybe H, and then sub for sub coming down. I want to give it a space so my internet can work, and then H2, and then still O outside of the sub, H2O, H2O for water. And perfect. This is what we have. This is wonderful. Close up here for uniformity. Close up here. Exactly. So this is it now. And then we also have some elements like, there are a lot of them. We have block quotes. Let's see how a block quote looks like. VSCode quotes. Just say this is a block quote. Perfect. How does it look like exactly? So it just comes out from here like a paragraph, something, or indented something. And then we also have the pre-formatted text. Quickly, PRE for pre, I'll just call it the pre-formatted text, and then the Q, quotation, quotation, text. Oh, what am I down? What am I doing? Okay, let's see. It is the pre-formatted text. As you can see, quotation text. We did not put this quote here, but somehow we just, happened there. These are interesting elements we can use in our HTML. There's also a one called there's an element called code. This is a coded text. Yep. And also we can also have variable. I think this is something I would like to see being used most of the time, but to be frank, you wouldn't find a need for all these elements most of the time. So I'm still waiting for my intelligence to complete for me. It's not forthcoming. I will just open it and just say var. Okay, maybe it's var here. var, correct. So this is it. I'll just say var x something. You would know what var means when you start writing JavaScript, okay? But for now, this is what it is. And then can we just draw this to a conclusion? Maybe I want to give two final ones. That should be abbreviation, and then this is the title of the abbreviation you want to give. So this works like this. You're giving the answer of whatever you are putting in the abbreviation. So first of all, I want to put something here. I'll just call it HTML like this. Let's go and see what we have. So see it here. This is what we have, HTML. Now, to give it a title means what's the full meaning of this HTML, right? So I'm going to say hypertext markup language like this, and we'll see. So hover on it. Okay, this is it, hypertext markup language. And finally, we have the address. This is my address, 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 and go. So this is how it is. So basically, I would say you would work with about 10 of them or so. That's the heading, the head ones, right? The paragraph, the spans, So yeah, this is just how it's going to be. So this is a long video already. I'll see you in the next video.